President Trump announces a new round of tariffs.
Protesters react to South Korea's removal of its impeached president.
The Real ID deadline is looming. Here's how to get one.
Fenway is back in business. Check out how the stadium is getting ready for opening day.
And the Fab Four has been announced for the new Beatles biopic movie.
Live from Studio West in the College of Communication, Good Morning BU starts right now. Hello and welcome to Good Morning BU. I'm Sydney Toff.
And I'm Kara Mim. Here are today's top stories. On Wednesday afternoon, Trump announced the latest tariffs, stating the focus is imposing reciprocal taxes on U.S. trading partners. Since Wednesday, these new tariffs have led to the biggest Dow drop since 2020. While the administration defends the move as pro-American, the sharp market reaction signals investor concerns about economic uncertainty in the months ahead. The imposed auto tariffs went into effect Thursday in the U.S. and Mexico. Trump announced minimum tariffs of at least 10% on almost all exporters to the U.S. And many fear these new restrictions could lead to a potential recession. Notably, Russia was missing from this list as there has been little trade between the two countries. Trump hopes that these new tariffs will offset the cost of his tax cuts, but some economists say the numbers don't add up. They say these taxes could lead to price increases that could push inflation higher and complicate the Federal Reserve's efforts to stabilize the pace of price growth. Early this morning, China announced they are imposing 34% tariffs on the U.S. beginning April 10th. China has said this is in retaliation.
4 Republican senators sided with Democrats on a bill pushing back against Trump's tariffs on Canadian imports. The bill would reverse Trump's national emergency declaration on tariffs for Canada. The 4 Republicans were Senators Rand Paul, Susan Collins, Mitch McConnell, and Lisa Murkowski. Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney weighed in on the new tariffs.
We saw that that was ending a while ago. It's now emphatic. I think the world is learning that that is over. That creates real challenges for us. We're not sugarcoating it. We're absolutely clear about that. It also, though, creates an enormous opportunity for a country like Canada, which has virtually everything that the world wants, has a lot of things that the U.S. wants, and they're going to find out how much they want it.
Moving to the other chamber, Speakers of the House Mike Johnson lost in his crusade to block remote voting for new parents in Congress.
I don't concede on something that I believe to be unconstitutional. I can't. I took an oath to uphold the Constitution. So we're going to find a path through this. We're working on that. Talk to everybody who voted against the rule, and we'll work it out.
The bill was proposed by new Republican Representative Anna Paulina Luna. All House Democrats and 9 Republicans voiced support for the bill in a rare bipartisan move on Capitol Hill. Johnson canceled voting for the rest of the week following the fight over remote voting.
In another Trump administration development, NSA Security Chief General Timothy Hogg was fired last night. Hogg was the second highest ranking individual in the NSA. Although the reasons for his termination are unclear right now, far-right activist Laura Loomer recommended the move in her meeting with President Trump this past Wednesday. Democrats have expressed concern that the decision will disrupt national security. General Hogg also testified about the National Security Council's signal chat in the leak last week.
In Myanmar, more than 3,000 people have died, with thousands injured and hundreds still missing after a 7.7 magnitude earthquake last week. Friday's earthquake destroyed cities, roads, and bridges throughout the country and in Thailand, where at least 22 people have died and 35 more are injured. With monsoon season around the corner and more than 3 million people displaced from their homes, UN officials are appealing to the international community to immediately step up funding for the quake victims. Local media says that the official number of deaths will continue to rise as rescuers continue their search for those trapped under the debris.
Natural disasters have also been occurring close to home. On Wednesday night, dozens of tornadoes broke out in the central United States and moved east overnight. At least 7 people have been killed in the destruction that wiped out entire neighborhoods in Tennessee, Missouri, and Indiana. The damage is expected to continue into the weekend with a once-in-a-lifetime flooding. Texas, Arkansas, Tennessee, and Kentucky are expected to have heavy rainfall throughout the weekend.
Staff across the U.S. Health and Human Services Department began receiving termination notice emails on Tuesday morning, but they have now been asked to return. Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has said that the cuts were consistent with the government's plan to purge the federal workforce and, quote, recalibrate the HHS, but 20% were made in error. He said that the roughly 10,000 employees who were laid off were personnel that should not have been cut and now will be reinstated.
So we're reorganizing HHS so it can do its intended job, which is to make America healthy again.
HHS has a budget of $1.8 trillion, and it oversees agencies including the CDC, FDA, and Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services.
Trump faced his first electoral test since returning to office this week in Wisconsin and Florida. Dane County Judge Susan Crawford defeated Brad Schimmel for the open seat on Wisconsin's Supreme Court. Despite Elon Musk spending record-breaking amounts on Schimmel's campaign, Crawford's win secures a Democrat majority on the state's high court, with expectations to tackle issues such as abortion and redistricting. Republicans also held on to 2 U.S. House seats from Florida after Mike Waltz and Matt Gaetz resigned. In the 1st Congressional District, the state's former chief financial officer, Jimmy Patronis, defeated Democrat Gay Valamont. And in the 6th District, former state senator Randy Fine beat Democrat Josh Wheel. Although Republicans have a high registration area in both districts, the results were far closer than the results in November. Fine's victory was down to around 14 points. Republicans still hold a 220 to 213 majority in the House.
Boston University students protested on Thursday afternoon after students allegedly saw immigration authorities in various buildings across campus. BU spokesperson Colin Riley told the Boston Globe that Homeland Security was on campus speaking to students to do a background check on a BU alum who applied with the federal agency. Riley says it was, quote, unusual for a DHS agent to walk into buildings and speak with students. DHS had not informed BU ahead of time. Organizers rallied in Marsh Plaza and marched to the Dean of Students, Jason Campbell Foster's office in the George Sherman Union. They demand a statement be published in BU Today by April 7th at 5:30 p.m., declaring BU as a sanctuary campus. The
Sanctuary campus now! Sanctuary campus now! We want justice, we say how! We want justice, we say how! Sanctuary campus.
The students want BU to be free from federal agents seeking to detain or deport international students and faculty. Thursday's protest comes a little over a week since Romesa Ozturk, a Tufts PhD student, was detained by mass immigration authorities in Somerville. Dean Campbell Foster was not in his office during this encounter.
South Korea's impeached president was removed from office today after a unanimous vote by the Constitutional Court. Former President Yoon Suk-yeol was impeached by Parliament back in December after his failed attempt to impose martial law. Since then, the country has been in a limbo, led by interim leader Prime Minister Han Duck-yeol, a conservative. He faced immense criticism long before troops stormed Parliament. At the time of his suspension in December, Yeol was already facing corruption scandals, and several of his cabinet members were under investigation. Additional insurrection charges made him the first sitting South Korean president to be arrested and charged with a crime. He is also the second South Korean president to be impeached in the last decade. Yeol's defense team issued a statement in which he apologized for his shortcomings. Yeol said, "I am truly sorry and regretful that I could not live up to your expectations." Protesters and supporters gathered outside of the Constitutional Court this morning, awaiting the verdict. Yeol leaves behind a politically polarized country, which may complicate the race to the presidential election on June 3rd.
Back in the U.S., Senator Cory Booker took the Senate floor at 7 p.m. on Monday night. And at 8 p.m. on Tuesday, he made history. Booker spoke for 25 consecutive hours to protest President Trump, breaking the previous record by over an hour. Booker said that after reading letters from his constituents in New Jersey about upcoming Republican bills, he felt the need to prove himself worthy of leading the anti-Trump movement by stepping up. Booker says the previous record always, quote, irked him as it was held by notorious segregationist Strom Thurmond. In preparation to claim the title as his own, Booker fasted for multiple days beforehand and even stopped drinking water long before that. Despite the persisting cramps, he was able to go the entire time without using the restroom, eating, or drinking. The senator also prepared over 1,100 pages of material. In the interviews following his speech, Booker urged citizens and government officials alike to continue to ignite this movement.
But I'm enormously grateful for a lot of folks who sent me their very, very personal stories. They gave me a chance to speak to the pain, hurt, fear, anger, demands of a lot of Americans.
In other political news, TikTok will be banned once again, or will it? Tomorrow marks the end of the 75-day extension on TikTok negotiations that President Donald Trump issued in January. Trump's executive order, which created this grace period, came after the Supreme Court ruled to uphold a federal law that mandates that ByteDance, the China-based company that owns TikTok, sell the app or it will be banned in U.S. territories. ByteDance has not publicly commented on the negotiations, but multiple U.S. investors have shared their interest in purchasing the app. These people include Amazon, which put a last-minute bid to U.S. Secretary of Commerce Howard Lutnick yesterday. During his first presidency, Trump opposed TikTok, citing potential threats to national security. But he did change his mind and his position after it helped him with the 2024 election. Stick around after this break because our sports correspondent is at Fenway Park. We'll see how the stadium is preparing for opening day.
Use the shovel and bucket of water, remember? Drown, stir, drown, feel. Then make sure it's cool.
Where'd you learn that?
SmokeyBear.com. Brushed up on some tips before we left. Don't want to start a wildfire, right?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
I don't know why you're so sad. You've got a roof over your head.
Bro, you gotta stop with that depression stuff. That's a white people thing.
Escúchame, en esta casa los hombres no lloran.
You all right?
It just feels like it's coming from everywhere.
Do you want to talk about it?
Thanks for hearing me out, bro. Appreciate it.
You can talk to me if you're feeling sad. Whenever you need to talk, I'm here, okay?
How do you know when you've made the right decision? It's the feeling you get in your gut. The one that tells you what's right or wrong. It's the one that says, sure, I can have a drink. Or the feeling that says, okay, I've been drinking. Now what? It's the voice inside you that says, I'm buzzed. Better leave the car when it's time to go. Plan ahead. Catch a sober ride. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Welcome back. Opening day has arrived. The Boston Red Sox will begin a 3-game series against the St. Louis Cardinals today. Our very own Lily Chapman is live at Fenway Park, seeing how fans are gearing up for game day. Hey Lily, how's it looking out there?
Hey guys, I am right here at Fenway Park, and it is one of the most anticipated days of the year. It is none other than Fenway opening day. Now behind me, the streets do look a little bit deserted right now, but just give it a few hours time and they are going to be jam-packed with fans from all across New England, of all different backgrounds, young, old, you name it, all coming together for the love of Red Sox baseball, and of course to sing a little bit of Sweet Caroline. Now, obviously, we do have fans from right here in Boston, including Matt Barrero, who actually is here with me and works the peanut stand. So, Matt, tell me right now, are you a Red Sox fan?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Yep.
Yeah, and what are you looking forward to the most going into opening day and even going into this season?
Well, opening day is big. We want the weather to cooperate, and hopefully the sun will pop out, and a win. We want to win.
Yeah, absolutely. And how long have you been working at this peanut stand for?
Well, I've been working with Nicky Peanuts for about 6 years, but he's third generation since 1912.
Yeah, absolutely. And how are you guys preparing for the influx of fans later today?
Yeah, that's pretty. We're used to it now. It gets crowded, but we deal with it, and yeah, it's a 2-man team here. You definitely got to have 2 people here. So.
Yeah, I can only imagine. Now, guys, there is so much to look forward to today, and this excitement is only going to grow bigger as we get closer to the opening pitch at 2:10 p.m. when the Red Sox take on the St. Louis Cardinals. Now, this is when that Red Sox baseball magic begins, and it's going to last all throughout the summer and hopefully into the fall. Now, reporting live from Fenway Park, I'm Lily Chapman. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Lily. Wow, I can't wait for a win too. And those peanuts, they look great. And in other news, in an update to the Karen Reed case, 10 jurors have been selected for the trial. The court still needs to fill 6 seats for the trial to begin, which has been a slightly difficult process because of Reed's publicity. One juror from Reed's first trial has now joined her defense team. In spite of these difficulties, Reed remains optimistic.
I'm here, we're fighting, we'll keep fighting. I feel strong, so I feel good.
How do you feel about the former juror who's actually on your team now?
I'm sorry that I have these pickle chips in my mouth, but I feel just another resource. How did this land? How did even jury selection go for the jurors, the prospective jurors? So just another resource.
After being accused of hitting her boyfriend, John O'Keefe, with a vehicle outside their home, Reed is pleading not guilty to second-degree murder charges. Her defense team alleges that Reed is being framed by the police. Reed's first trial ended in a mistrial on July 1st, 2024, after a deadlock among jurors.
In more New England news, Massachusetts and Rhode Island have joined 23 states in filing a lawsuit against the HHS and HHS Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. The lawsuit is for abruptly and illegally terminating $11 billion in public health grants. Those grants include 7 that were previously awarded to Massachusetts, totaling almost $120 million. More than $30 million was for Rhode Island. Kennedy's agency suddenly ended COVID-19 related grants, including mental health and addiction services. The states are seeking a temporary restraining order to invalidate the mass grant ending, arguing they violate federal law and that the Administration Procedures Act.
The Trump administration's anti-Semitism task force sent a list of demands to Harvard University on Thursday, threatening billions of dollars of federal funding. This action comes after the administration announced that they were reviewing $9 billion of federal grants destined for Harvard and its affiliated institutions, including research hospitals like Mass Gen, Brigham, and Boston Children's Hospital. The demands ask Harvard to create new oversight for what they call fueled anti-Semitism by holding student group leaders accountable for violations of Harvard policy. The letter says that Harvard must offer its full cooperation with the Department of Homeland Security if it wishes to continue a financial relationship with the U.S. government.
The deadline to get a real ID is quickly approaching. TSA will require all air travelers without U.S. passports to have a real ID starting May 7th. A real ID is an upgraded driver's license or state ID with a star in the top right corner. The star indicates that ID complies with security standards from the federal government. To get a real ID, Massachusetts residents can make an appointment on the RMB website or walk in at any RMB service center and apply. TSA says they'll still accept passports as IDs at airports, but it plans to start enforcing these ID laws in May. So those without one can expect delays and more screening at airport checkpoints.
Though a real ID may help with the upcoming travel season, Boston's weather leaves plenty of reasons to stay here. Our weather correspondent, Akua Deval, is here with this weekend's forecast.
Hi, Kara. Today marks the first Friday of April, which means the weather is finally feeling like spring. Today is looking bright as Boston will see sunny skies and a temperature as high as 67. The perfect atmosphere to kick off a baseball game opener, if you ask me. However, the term April showers will come into full effect. Expect rain to kick in tomorrow morning and continue throughout the day. Those sunny skies will cloud away as temperatures take a nosedive, with temperatures reaching as high as 44. Sunday isn't much better, sadly. Those rain showers will continue all the way into Wednesday. At least a peak of sunshine is expected, with temperatures reaching a high of 58. April may be pouring in some showers, but that just means Boston is preparing for those May flowers. So guys, with that being said, what are you going to miss most about your winter fits?
A couple of my jackets. I have this really fluffy one that I'm going to miss with like white stars on it. It's not what you really want to wear when it's like 60, 70 degrees out. So I'll miss it.
Pack it up.
Pack it up.
I think I'm gonna miss my jackets. I wear the same ones like all the time, my big blue puffer, but I'm also gonna miss wearing, just like slipping into my Uggs. The weather's not warm enough for like Birkenstocks yet, so I don't know what that middle shoe is. I need to find that.
Yeah, you will. I'm personally gonna miss my Harry Potter scarf.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Okay, well next year. Only a couple more months, okay?
Exactly. Boston gets cold so fast. It'll basically go
and
like
you won't want that.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Well, whatever you're wearing, don't miss out on the good weather this weekend. And if you need some plans to get out of your room, we have 2 on-campus activities for you after this break.
I wonder if you know that I want the best for you. I know you're going through a lot. I wonder if you know that the big homie needs help too. That you can't just rebound from everything. I know you've been grinding.
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
But how long will you fight solo? I wonder if you know that we can get help. I wonder why we waited so long. Not wondering anymore. Love, your mind. Let's see how far we can go.
Welcome back. Let's look back on this year's annual Power of Narrative Conference, hosted by Boston University's College of Communication. Our campus correspondent Courtney Knight spent the weekend with journalists of the past and the future at a Q&As around campus.
Boston University's Department of Journalism held its annual Power of Narrative Conference at the GSU, exploring how storytellers can deeply engage with their subjects and audiences.
We're not a community without you.
The 2-day event brought together students, journalists, and narrative nonfiction lovers to learn from and network with top professionals, which included keynote speeches from journalism titans Connie Chung and Susan Orlean. Groundbreaking anchor and reporter Connie Chung was a recipient of the Hugo Chang Lifetime Award at the event and says her advice to students attending the conference is to find the fun in journalism.
If you find something that you love to do, make that your profession, because you'll want to get up in the morning and do that, and it'll be a joy. It won't be drudgery.
Sarah Kess, the event's lead organizer, says that for a conference of this scale, planning for the next year's conference starts as soon as this year's wraps up.
It's just kind of an unparalleled opportunity. There's not a lot of other journalism schools that can put on an event like this and have students come for free.
Ellen Dong, a sophomore studying journalism at BU, says the conference experience exceeded her expectations.
Connie Chung is here, and like everyone's very excited to see her, and especially she's like, you know, a Chinese woman in journalism, so am I. But also I've been pleasantly surprised because I've gone to just some random speaker events here, just walking around, and I've been really interested in them.
Almost 30 speakers and about 200 students came out to enjoy the 2-day event all together. Reporting for GMBU, I'm Courtney Knight.
Thanks, Courtney. Tonight is BU's annual Redstone Film Festival. The film and TV's undergrad and graduate students have been showing their films at this festival every spring for 30 years now. Contestants are nominated for several awards, including Best Film, Best Actor, and this year's new addition, Best Production Design. Many Redstone winners are now globally recognized, and 2 former winners have received Academy Award nominations. Come see Hollywood's future stars at the Psy Performance Center tonight at 7 p.m.
And if you're looking for more plans this weekend, come to Kate's Gym to watch the BU dance team and the BU cheer team perform their nationals routines for the last time before competition. Our lifestyle correspondent, Sienna Gleason, got a head start checking in with the cheers coach earlier this week. Let's take a closer look at how the team is preparing for nationals.
My name is Amanda. Amanda Lon. I'm the head coach of Boston University cheerleading. So basically, I do a little bit of everything. So we practice about 4 days a week, usually late at night and then early in the morning on the weekends. Our main focus has been kind of stunting as a group and getting together as a team. I think that's a big part of it, obviously. And this year we're really looking forward to having some harder skills and harder stunts.
Next week, the Boston University cheer team will go to the National Cheerleading Association College Nationals in Daytona, Florida. The team will compete under the Advanced Small Co-Ed Division.
We have always competed in advanced. The advanced division is getting smaller and smaller because teams are getting more and more skilled, which is kind of on par with what we did this year with our team. We're very talented this year. So in previous years, I've gone with bigger teams. This year, I decided to kind of go a little bit smaller and pick a group of 15 really skilled people to put on the floor. So I think that really sets us apart from previous years. BU is an interesting school because obviously we're super talented athletically, but then we also have to deal with the academic side of things. So I actually give these girls and boys a lot of credit because they come to practice every day, day in and day out, around their classes. They compete around their class time and practice around their class time, take away from their class time, offer me. Obviously for them and for their teammates as well. I feel like, a lot of times when you talk to somebody and you say I'm a cheerleader, I'm a cheerleading coach, they're just kind of whatever. But it's really something that you should be proud of. It takes a lot of athleticism and a lot of dedication, both inside and out of practice.
Be sure to come to the BU cheer team's send-off performance tomorrow at Case Gymnasium at 2 p.m. Use the QR code on the screen or the link below to purchase your tickets. For GMBU, I'm Sienna Gleason.
Thanks, Sienna. We're not just getting one Beatles movie in the next couple of years, we're getting 4. Oscar winner director Sam Mendes will release a sequence of feature-length biopics in the summer of 2028. Each Beatles member will get their very own movie. 4 known actors are stepping into the lead roles. Paul Mescal will play Paul McCartney, Harris Dickinson will be John Lennon, Barry Keoghan will be Ringo Starr, and Joseph Quinn will play George Harrison.
And in more entertainment news, Women's Month wrapped up last week at Time Out Market's Small Business Bonanza. Our arts entertainment correspondent Samantha Genzer spoke to some of the women businesses that were there.
Whether it's handcrafted jewelry, scented bath products, or crocheted keychains, the Boston's Women Market had something for everyone. Held on March 30th at Time Out Market in Fenway, local female entrepreneurs had the chance to showcase their businesses and connect with the community. Among them was Elaine Ellis, founder of Sweet Glam Cosmetics. Her booth showcased a unique fusion of beauty and baked goods.
I am a cosmetologist. My daughter is a chef. So we combine the two where you get all in one place, tasty on the outside and tasty on the inside.
For Ellis, running a small business is all about persistence.
Being a small business, I see the challenges, but I also get up every day and grind for it because I know one day I want to be in my own store.
So what makes the work worth it? Well, for Ashley McCoy, owner of a handmade jewelry business, it's the love from her patrons that keeps her going.
I'm most proud of when people look at the pieces that take me the longest and they go, that's amazing. Whether or not people purchase things, I love seeing that they appreciate the art that means so much to me.
Carol Cubberly, owner of Tiny Juniper House, said she appreciated the chance to show her work at Time Out Market.
I think the Boston Women's Market is a great resource for women in small businesses. I'm still a pretty new business, so I was a little bit nervous about coming, but I have enjoyed this market so far.
For her, being a small business owner and a mother is a point of pride.
Just having a business while being a sort of new mom is a lot, so I'm proud of just making that happen.
From handcrafted goods to creative self-care products, the Boston Women's Market continues to be a hub for women entrepreneurs.
Make sure to check out these small local businesses when you get a chance. For GMBU, I'm Samantha Genzer.
Oh, that sounded like a great event. Yeah.
Definitely.
Well, thanks, Samantha. And that's going to do it here this week at Good Morning BU.
From all of us here on the GMBU team, thank you so much for watching. I'm Sydney Taw.
And I'm Kara Mims. Stay safe and have an amazing weekend.